As a father myself, and someone that's fought through the family courts, this being the second time round, and probably the worst fight in my life for what our child wants, which is contact with her father, and the constant feeling of betrayal by a system, constant feeling of being deprived of family life with our child, which took over 3 years before finally got what our child wanted, contact with her father. Takes far too long. Far too many parents end up thrown into the mental health, too afraid to mention anything about their mental health for the fear that's driven through them and the fear that they will use that against them in the family courts. PTSD running rife with people out there. Post-traumatic stress disorder, coercive post-traumatic stress disorder. They certainly wouldn't be going through it if they weren't going through what they go through family courts. Ironically, many of the parents out there pay for this. They have to pay to go into family courts to see their children. I sometimes wonder what it would be like on the other, if the shoe was on the other foot and they won the case and they turn around and say, well, okay, you know, this is where you should be having contact with your children. Your ex should be paying the bill for this. That wouldn't happen. Much the same as most of the court orders are not enforceable by judges. And the mere statement of should make the child available has got so much wiggle room in it. It's unbelievable. So they're not even enforceable, the orders. But what really gets me is how many parents over the last, say, 40 years have taken their lives because of family courts. Death by family courts, suicide by family courts, whatever we want to call it. But I wonder how many. You're twice as likely to kill yourself going through family courts. It's horrendous. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. We're at the age of time now where it's not just fathers, it's mothers that go through the process of having their children denied, whether it's through parental alienation or whether it's through the severance of a relationship between children and healthy, loving, caring parents. One of the things that we actually know is that it's a much bigger percentage of women than 3 or 4 years ago. There is now doubled. There is now approximately 40% women going through this as well as men. And this isn't about parental alienation, doesn't put its stamp on just males or just someone with colour. It affects everybody. The tentacles of PA reach out to so many people. It affects so many. And I guess that's why it's not just the constant wonder and worry of how many have taken their lives. It's how many could in the future take their lives. How many more children are going to be left devastated, never ever being able to contact or speak or anything with their children. I've been fighting this for parents and children for almost 4 years now. And we've made headways. May not be massive movements, which we want, but we are certainly seeing that there are a lot more people jumping in the mix with everything, showing that some things are changing, and whether people want to jump in because they want to finish up with the glory, or they make something out of it or whatever, it doesn't matter. It makes no difference who brings the change. It just needs to be reformed. There seems to be more awareness now because more women are going through it. You know, we watch the programs and suddenly it's about the alienated parent, the mother, rather than the father, because it just seems to be nobody cares about the fathers. Parental alienation affects mothers, fathers, grandparents, family members. It affects people who are black, white, green, yellow, whatever colour they are, you know, whatever hair colour they are, whatever. It makes no difference. It makes no difference whether they've got tattoos or not got tattoos, whether they're a lawyer, even what walk of life. It affects people. So many people. It's unbelievable. And yet it's shut down. People understand more about the domestic violence of women per se, but they understand more about that because it's out there constantly and it's being barraged out there. It's unbelievable. It's in the media, it's on the TV, it's everywhere, constantly. In doctors' surgeries, everything. But nothing is out there about what happens behind family court doors. And this is where it happens. And this is because the family courts are far more guilty of the exes in a sense of progressing parental alienation, progressing the severance of a relationship. And remember, many outcomes, it could be the judge that actually severs the relationship. Draconian indeed. What the high judges say, that it's second to the death penalty. We don't have the death penalty in yet. Or do we? Is that what it's dishing out? Suicide is death. Penalty for not having your children is some people take their lives. They don't know any other way of dealing with it. It's horrendous. You know, for far too long, this country has allowed the court system to get away with what it's getting away with. The likes of Kafkas. We've heard the government state that Kafkas and the courts are equipped to dealing with parental alienation. Well, how come it is in the recent cases that it's social services, that in more recent cases, that have seen the signs of parental alienation and the overturning done? Not Kafkas. How come Riel shows us that there is no PA and the case is overturned? So we haven't got to show PA. We have to show that there is bad parenting, or bad grandparenting, or bad new partners, controlling your ex, stopping you having contact. One of the things that I found doing this for almost 4 years is I've saved probably over 300 members, maybe more with the videos. I can safely say that we are probably one of the strongest ones out there pushing this for it to stop. Not to gain something from it, for it to stop. There are children that suffer through this, straight into the mental health. Even when Kafkas and the courts are finished with them, straight into the mental health. Nobody there to help them. The government stated that Kafkas and social services can deal with this. Fail. There is massive failures there, because if they cannot identify what is going on and falling short of PA, they are failing the children. So residency was overturned because of the behaviours of a grandparent. Residencies have been overturned because of the identifying it with the likes of social services, not Kafkas, who are supposed to be dealing with it. They're supposed to be the practitioners. These are the ones that are supposed to be understanding it. Factually, they're CCIAF in the long roundabout way, whichever way they want to cut it. They can dress it up, they can put some bows in it, glitter, whatever they want to do, still is forcing children to pick and choose their parents. Many Kafkas workers are still putting in reports that are stating the child does not want to see the parent anymore. We recommend indirect contact after there was a relationship with that child and that parent that was loving and caring, and then suddenly after, and only after, family courts, the process, do these children then turn around and say, I can't deal with this anymore. Actually, that's not what they say. They say, I don't want to see my mum anymore. I don't want to see my dad anymore, because they cannot deal with it. Is this as good as it gets, is what these children have? Stuck with a parent, stuck aligned to a parent that is abusing them, with a system that is abusing them, a system that is killing people. Inevitably running to the point of killing teenagers that are suicidal because of this. This is why we fight. Standing up for the vulnerable parents, the vulnerable children. This is why we continue to keep pushing and moving. Thank you.